Angry farmers are uniting across the world in protest demanding fair treatment at the hands of corporate elites and uncaring governments. But whilst in democratic Europe, the protests are met with peaceful but firm policing, in Narendra Modi's version of democracy, they have been met with violence, bullets and beatings. Farmers across India have launched the Delhi Chalo, or March to Delhi, in an echo of January 2021, when they broke through barriers and rolled into New Delhi on Republic Day during a then year-long protest. But this time around, the lines of hundreds of tractors have been stalled by fearsome barricades of concrete blocks, razor wire and even dangerous spikes driven into the ground. The farmers' demands reflect those that drove the original protest 3 years ago, which Narendra Modi's government have yet to implement, despite promises given at the time. And this time, the Indian government is only partially engaging with farmers' unions and instead focusing its energy on ensuring the protests are quashed. As is now being witnessed particularly in the Punjab, Haryana and Tamil Nadu, police have clearly been given orders to use whatever force necessary to stop the democratic protest. One flashpoint at the Punjab-Haryana border area of Shambhu, 125 miles north of the capital, the main group of farmers has been stopped by a barrage of over 2,000 tear gas shells and heavy policing, which one protester described as being treated like an enemy combatant.
But ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਆਉਂਦਿਆਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਨਾ ਹਰਿਆਣਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਗੋਲਾਬਾਰੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਆਸੂ ਦੇ ਗੋਲੇ ਚਲਾਤੇ ਆ ਪੱਕੇ ਫਾਇਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ 25-30 ਆਦਮੀ ਜ਼ਖਮੀ ਕਰਤੇ ਆ
ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਰੀਕੇਡ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਖਲੋਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਟੈਂਕੀ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸੁੱਟਿਆ ਬੰਬ ਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਤੇ ਜੁੱਤੀ ਪਾੜ ਕੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੰਘ ਗਿਆ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜ਼ਖਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਟੈਂਕੇ ਲਵਾਏ ਆ ਗਲਾਸ ਵੀ ਟੁੱਟ ਗਿਆ ਆ ਵੀ ਪਾੜ ਗਿਆ ਬੈ ਵੀ
After first deploying tear gas yesterday, police have fired fresh barrages today, including dropping canisters from the air by drone, as tractor-driving farmers tried to open the road by dragging barricades away. However, farm union leaders have used microphones to call for restraint from supporters in response to ensure the protest remained peaceful. But in a sinister reflection of tactics used in China, water cannons have been stained with permanent blue dye so that protesters can be identified and rounded up later by authorities.
हम आप मानो 18 घंटे 20 घंटे काम करते हैं फिर भी हमारा गुजारा नहीं होगा लेकिन अगर हम इन्हें थोड़ा सरकार से डिमांड कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर हमारे को गोले चल रहे हैं लाठी बरसाई जा रही है.
Police have ringed the capital on 3 sides, blocking highways with metal spikes, blocks and steel barricades. In a further reflection of tactics common to Modi's government when facing unrest, internet services have been cut in parts of Haryana to prevent lawful communication between protesters. The enormous uprising, once again by farmers across India, and the subsequent violent and draconian backlash by authorities reveal the deep divisions that are now growing across the nation. Narendra Modi, who is likely to win another term in this year's election, has been championing the majority Hindu nationalist cause and in turn using increasingly violent and undemocratic methods to quell and silence his critics, including the country's religious minorities. Since partition in 1947, Sikhs have been in the vanguard of those demanding fair treatment for all minorities in India and have secured a fearsome reputation in protecting human rights abuses in India. But in turn, Modi's BJP has turned to both physical brutality through its country's police force and a huge online army of Hindu extremists to try to intimidate and suppress Sikhs into silence. But as the eyes of the world have increasingly turned on his governance, Western democracies are now seeing firsthand Narendra Modi's version of so-called democracy. You've been watching Satellage TV News. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button to make sure you get to see stories as they're broadcast. And of course, if you have any comments or opinions on any of our news stories, you can of course comment below or indeed drop us a direct message at message@satellagetv.com. We do like to hear from you. In the meantime, thanks for watching. For Satellage TV News in London, I'm Angus Scott.